was meant to be the first day of head-to-head campaigning for the two men who hope to lead the nation. But instead, another Conservative MP stole their attention.
Should Mark Field be sacked, Mr Johnson?
Encourage tactical voting, Mr Johnson.
Should Mark Field be sacked?
Can you be the Foreign Secretary?
Your party's looking for leadership on this. What do you think of the incident? Are you back to being the nasty party?
Field for his actions.
The questions this morning about this incident last night.
Can we get this person out?
It's a peaceful protest.
The event, a Mansion House dinner with the Chancellor's annual speech. The woman being manhandled, a climate change protester from Greenpeace, and the man doing the handling, a government minister, Mark Field.
I feel very tired this morning. I was shaken up after it happened and I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction. I was expecting a conversation, a dialogue with people, but I certainly didn't expect that. I don't intend to press charges. I haven't had an apology from him. My priority is the planet and the future of it, and you know that's what I'm focusing on. The Tory government can sort out their own stuff.
Janet Barker was one of dozens of protesters, the majority women. Last night, Mr Field said he had instinctively reacted. He said he was genuinely worried she might have been armed, adding, "I deeply regret this episode and unreservedly apologise to the lady concerned for grabbing her." He also referred himself to both the Cabinet Office and the Conservative Party. But after watching the footage today, Theresa May suspended him as a minister while investigations take place. Footage released from Greenpeace shows how easily they gained access. This is them outside the event, and inside, this is how close they got to the Governor of the Bank of England. A security review has been launched.
You could see clearly that we were mostly women with sashes saying climate emergency. You know, she was holding leaflets, she was trying to hand out leaflets. I don't think that
just because
it's
you're
really...
women and had climate emergency doesn't mean that there isn't a possibility that you could have had some sort of weapons on you.
I understand that. I think that from the video it's clear that she was walking peacefully behind him and wasn't posing any credible threat.
Labour say the Tories need to suspend Mr Field from the party.
He was clearly out of control, but what came across to me was that sense of entitlement. You know, these people had invaded the space of the elite, and oh my God, was he angry about it? He just completely and utterly overreacted.
Today, party colleagues rallied to support Mr Field. Michael Fabricant saying the protester had a bag. What if it had contained acid or a knife? Nadine Dorries said we live in strange times. He acted instinctively. He's not trained. His instincts were right. And Johnny Mercer added, he's a lovely guy. Clearly looks panicked. Let's learn and move on. One man who doesn't think we should just move on is Mark Field's boss at the Foreign Office and candidate to be Prime Minister.
Minister, should Mark Field be sacked?
There's a process going on and it's going to be looked at independently.
Is this the return of the nasty party?
Very much.
Mr Hunt also condemned another discipline issue from within the party last night. Messages sent to Rory Stewart supporter Antoinette Sambach. A fellow MP sent her, "You two are a disgrace. Time you left the party, I think." This too is being investigated, this time by the Chief Whip. But while Jeremy Hunt spoke out today, his competition and frontrunner for the leadership remained silent on both issues all day.
Is your party fit to govern, Mr Johnson? Shouldn't you be showing some leadership here?
How are you?
Is your party really fit to govern, Mr Johnson?
How are you? Very good.
Day one of campaigning and an indicator of what the weeks ahead may hold. The underdog keen to show leadership, the favourite silent.
Paul McNamara reporting there. Now, whoever becomes the next Conservative leader will face an immediate political test with a by-election in Brecon and Radnorshire. It was triggered after more than 10,000 people signed a petition to recall the Conservative MP Chris Davies, convicted of falsely claiming expenses for his constituency office earlier this year. Mr Davies said he would be standing again and hoped voters would forgive him, claiming he's already won the backing of both Boris Johnson and Jeremy Hunt. Jane Dodge reports.
The rolling hills of Brecon may be bucolic, but the political landscape in the largest constituency in England and Wales is anything but calm. The current Tory MP has just lost his job, making the government's minority more precarious than ever. Pinned to a board this morning, the news the Conservative Party was dreading. 10,000 voters had signed a petition calling for the local MP, Chris Davies, to be recalled, nearly double the number required to trigger a by-election. Friend and fellow Conservative James Evans was putting a brave face on it.
Powys as a whole and Brecon and Radnor voted to leave. Chris is a Leave MP himself, and he's actually sticking up for the people here. But it's quite disappointing, but I hope Chris will fight on, which I hope he's going to, and he can get back into Parliament and represent the people of Brecon and Radnorshire.
Chris Davies was convicted of a false expenses claim in March. He'd tried to split the cost of photographs for his office by creating 2 fake invoices worth £700. He was entitled to claim the money back, but the fake invoices broke the rules. Farmers selling sheep in Bilth Wells this afternoon were sympathetic on the whole.
I'm a farmer, I very often get things wrong, and we get penalised, so...
Will you be voting for him if he stands again?
No, I won't be voting for nobody. I've had enough of elections.
I find Chris very, very tidy. He's always been great to me and great for the community. So
will you be voting for him again?
yes, I will, yeah.
Not everyone was a fan, though.
If I want a picture, I have to go and pay for it. Why should the taxpayer pay for it for him?
Did you sign the petition then?
Certainly I did, and I'd have signed it twice if I could have.
Why do you feel so strongly about it?
Well, because of that. Why should I be working for taxes for him to have pictures hanging up on the wall?
Will you vote for him next time round?
I wouldn't vote for him if he was here now.
Late this afternoon, Chris Davies invited selected journalists into his home to stress he was down but not out.
I have said right from the very start, I have made a mistake here. And unlike most people in this modern day, as soon as I was told that mistake was being made, I put my hands up to it straight away. I have a tremendous support from party hierarchy, and I've had the 2 leading candidates on the phone this morning in support of me.
But other parties are chomping at the bit. The Liberal Democrats held the seat for 18 years until Mr Davies won it in 2015. Their candidate has dismissed rumours of a pact with Plaid Cymru.
In talking to people on the doorsteps, which I have, they're telling us they're fed up with Brexit. They're fed up with all of the issues around Brexit, and what they want to hear from people, from politicians, is how they're going to address their local issues, things like banks closing, better broadband, jobs that keep young people and families in the local area.
The Brexit Party is also standing a candidate. 51% of voters here backed Leave in the referendum.
Chris Davies is unique in that he is a Brexiteer, admittedly. But if you look at the behaviour of the Conservative Party over the past 3 years, it doesn't leave them in a very good position, a good standing position, and I think they've let the people down badly.
Labour is also standing. It's demanding the government sets a date for the by-election soon. But it's not a battle the new Prime Minister will be particularly keen to have in a hurry.